What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Finding the Fun. Today we are between Lillooet and Pemberton, headed up the pass. Now this is a very windy road, as you can see behind me, and I am very excited. I came down this route yesterday, so I've already scoped out most of the corners for gravel and troublesome points, so I'm really hoping this is some great footage and some great riding to see. As you can tell, we're right in the middle of a big forest fires. Between the Lytton forest fire and the one outside Cache Creek, there's a lot of smoke in the air. So if you're wondering what all this haze is, it's forest fires. So please, no fires. If you're smoking, don't put it in a bush because horrible stuff like this happens. So come along, join me for the ride. Hopefully we don't hit any traffic. I'm gonna try and find a point where we don't, but let's get it. If you're curious where I am more specifically, this video begins about 7 kilometers west of Lillooet in British Columbia, Canada on Highway 99 headed towards Pemberton. The first portion of this road headed up the pass has some amazing views overlooking the valley and the other mountain range south of Lillooet. Many of these corners border a steep cliff, so much so that there is a sign on the road telling drivers to check their brakes when descending in the opposite direction, as the barrier may not be enough to stop a runaway car. So safe to say, this is not the place you want to high side on some gravel. With corners like this one though, it's hard not to get a little spicy. Despite being near a forest fire, the temperature is also very hot today, with temperatures climbing past 34 degrees Celsius or 93 degrees Fahrenheit. Many times on this trip, I became concerned for the bike's cooling system as I climbed hills in the heat. I would commonly see the coolant temp sit around 98 degrees Celsius and not lower until I could get up past 100 kilometers an hour where the bike could cool off in the wind. This was most often on the climbs though, where the bike was under the most load and lowest speed. These hairpin corners, although fun, were also the most dirty corners with stray gravel and debris strewn across the road. Now, if you have a favorite road in BC you think I should check out, drop it in a comment down below. I'd love to find more nuggets like this, even if it means road tripping to them. I got really lucky on this leg of the road and didn't run into any traffic. Since this highway connects 2 towns, it is frequented by delivery trucks and several families and their grand caravans. And I understand why. Look at this view. It's even better when the smoke isn't filling the air. One thing I've come to appreciate on this road trip is the quality of road signage on these mountain roads. Approaching tighter corners, the orange corner signs will indicate how tight the corner is based on how low of a speed they recommend. Now, these signs are designed with a regular car in mind in okay weather conditions, unlike myself on a bike in perfectly sunny, warm conditions. Even though the speeds they recommend are certainly low for me, their signage is consistent enough that even though I might not have a sight line around a corner, I can have some faith about what is on the other side. As amazing as this road is, it hasn't always been this way. The road was paved around 1992, which incorporated in with the rest of the highway that leads back to Vancouver. Before 1992, this road was simply a gravel road. It is truly a feat of engineering in many places where they have had to blast away the hillside to provide a ledge for the road to exist on. Even though the road passes through mountainsides and valleys, the road condition is very good. The road has been well designed and has very few off-camber corners. It's obvious lots of support and retaining walls were integrated under the road, as there are very few cracks and sinking sections of the pavement. All of this makes for a wonderfully predictable road. As you get closer to Duffy Lake, the road opens up with better sight lines and less elevation change. So besides the gravel and the occasional corner that you have to watch out for, the next biggest problem is the wildlife. 3 times between Pemberton and Lillooet, I had a deer peering out onto the road or running beside it and looking to make a dash. Honestly, it's a little terrifying riding near an unpredictable animal like that, knowing that one panic hop in front of you could be the end of your ride today. This is also one of those roads you must watch out for oncoming traffic driving over the yellow line mid-corner. The fact that it isn't a heavily trafficked road means that the pavement is great, but at the same time, the lack of traffic lets people get sloppy with their corner entry speeds, leading to them to commonly push the wide line. So be careful and do not shoulder the center line, and keep your eyes peeled for oncoming traffic. One of the more awkward things of riding this road for the first time is the blind rolls that block sight lines, like this one here. One of the strangest things you can only experience fully on a motorcycle is changing temperatures. This road is a great example of that. As you drop down next to the river in the shade, through some of these sections, the 34-degree heat vanishes into a crisp 20 degrees in the shade next to the water. It was funny, as I caught up to this black pickup truck here, he picked up the pace, which I appreciate because nearly everything holds up a bike on the road. But what I didn't appreciate was that as he sped up, he got sloppy with his line and would regularly push his front inside tire over the center line since he couldn't handle the truck through the corner. Well, that's not good. Don't drive with an ego. A bike will always outpace you. For his safety and mine, I backed off as to not apply pressure to him. Now that was some amazing riding. And just look at this view. Like, can you beat this? Rushing water, a winding road, no traffic on a cool morning. Like, wow. This is what I'm out here for. And this is what I love sharing with you guys. So I hope you can go find this road, or go find a road just like it in your hometown or your city, your country, wherever it is. It's worth going and finding. Take that time, take that trip. Find the time, make it happen. As always, thanks for watching, guys. Please smash the like and subscribe button down below. And as always, have a good day.